Hi, and welcome to another episode Around the Neighborhood with me, Scott McMahon. And this is the show about the quest for fun, history, and mystery in our backyard. And today we're back in West Linn, over here at Fields Bridge Park in the Willamette neighborhood. And in fact, this area right here, according to the original plans, I think was supposed to be a canoe, kayak, boat launch. But as you can see, I don't think there's one here. I guess it's still under consideration, or maybe they'll construct it one day, but that was part of the original plans when they built this park, I believe back in 2005 when they commissioned it, 2005, 2007. Why 2007 is significant is because we're going to be talking about Fields Bridge today. Yes, just a bridge. But this bridge, Fields Bridge, it used to be a cool covered bridge, like the old-timey bridges. Speaking of Fields, way back in 1849, Joseph Fields traveled across the Oregon Trail from Missouri, and he claimed deed to land on both sides of the Tualatin River. So it's an amazing time in history because back then, you know, you could just stake claim or apply for claim for huge swaths of land that we see so precious today. Anyway, around 1852, Joseph Fields started to offer a ferry service across the Tualatin River. And then it wasn't until 1862 that I think he probably built the first bridge. But it was the county of Clackamas, I believe, in 1866 that commissioned and built the second bridge, a more suitable bridge. But that one got destroyed in the flood of 1890. Then in 1891, they decided to build the first covered bridge here. Now, the first iteration of the covered bridge didn't have any windows. And that didn't come into play until between 1923 and 1926 is when they redid the bridge, and they kept it covered, but they added glassless windows. So there's windows, but there was no glass in them. People just love covered bridges. In fact, many of the covered bridges that exist in America were built between 1830 and 1870. I guess there's around 900 covered bridges that still exist today across the country. But a lot of them were built with a timber truss, or the lightweight timber as opposed to using steel. Now, the covered portion of the bridge was actually to secure or make the timber stronger, the whole bridge stronger. It also helped protect the timber and the truss from weather elements. But another thing about covered bridges, because it was built in the 19th century, is that you had a lot of livestock and farmers and cattlers, cattle rustlers, taking their livestock across the river. And sometimes the animals would get spooked with this fast rushing water or just water itself. So the covered bridge allowed them to not have the anxiety of going over the water. Our covered bridge lasted until 1953 when they tore it down and constructed a new bridge with concrete. And that lasted until 2007 when they redid this bridge, and they, in 2005, commissioned the construction of this park. Now, one of the bummer things about the bridge being constructed in 2007 to be more structurally sound is that it closed off access to Dollar Street. So before then, you can cross the bridge and then access the very end of Dollar Street. And why that was important? Well, there used to be a charming coffee shop there along with a nursery, and the owners did a lot of business until the city created the bridge, closed off access to Dollar Street, and pretty much killed their entire business. And that is for another story, another episode, but it's a really interesting bit of West Linn history that not a lot of people know about, so I'll definitely show you in a later episode. So this was just a quick little episode on this little corner of history here in West Linn, or more specifically, the neighborhood of Willamette. And there is a difference between Willamette and West Linn, and I did a whole episode on that. And if you want to check it out, I'll leave the link to that video in this description of this video. Anyhow, I got a lot of my information about the history of this area through the West Linn Historical Society. In fact, they actually wrote a book on the history of West Linn parks, and it's fantastic, and I'll make sure to leave a link to that book and all their other contact information below. But in the meantime, if you want to stick around to the very end, I have a bonus content of something I've been working on in the last few weeks. But in the meantime, I want to let you know that the show is sponsored by my real estate services. So if you have any questions about buying or selling a home, especially in this area, please contact me. Again, all my information is below. But for everyone else, there's plenty of other videos around this area, plus all of Oregon. And you can go to aroundtheneighborhood.tv. That's aroundtheneighborhood.tv. I said that really weird at the end. Aroundtheneighborhood.tv. Anyway, you stuck with me. So thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you around the neighborhood. If you've been following my past videos, you know that I've been working on a tiki bar. It's been so rainy this winter. It's the La Nina winter, I guess, so they predicted it was going to be wet. So it's cold, wet, it's a pandemic, you can't really go anywhere. So the best thing for me to do is to bring some escapism to my house. So let's take a look how far I got on building my tiki room. So yeah, put it together. It's been a real super, like, just, I don't know, mental health thing, just to be able to escape to this little room and just listen to the Hawaiian music and learn how to make some tiki drinks. I'm not much of a drinker, so these last few days and the last few weeks, just trying to get myself familiar with how to make tiki drinks, and it's been a really fun rabbit hole to go down in. But I think I'm going to end up this year, at the end of every episode, maybe doing a little tiki drink concoction and just hanging out in this room as sort of like a post-episode wrap-up. So that might be something that's different in 2021 until we can actually go places where I can actually go to Hawaii, go to, you know, some sunny places. Because that's something about Oregon that I realized is that the months between January and March, you see advertisements all over the place for go to Palm Springs, Hawaii, San Diego, Arizona. People seem to get out of Dodge between like January and March, and you get back, you know, into town and enjoy the spring, this schizophrenic spring weather of Oregon. And of course the summers are amazing and fall is fantastic, but that stretch between January and March seems to be a tough one. And with a lot of rain that we have this year with the La Nina, I think this room is going to come in handy. So if you want to hang out and stay tuned to another segment, I'm going to learn how to make a blue Hawaii. And since it was one of my dad's favorite films, I got a little poster here, Blue Hawaii with Elvis. We got a ukulele. So we'll make the Blue Hawaii drink. Aloha and welcome. So you stuck around this far, all the way to the end of this video, end of this episode. So we're gonna make the Blue Hawaii, and I'm taking this from Jeff Beach Bum Berry's recipe on his app. He's got a Beach Bum tiki bar, or sorry, tiki drink app that essentially helps you know how to put together all these fabulous tiki drinks that he did all this amazing research on. In fact, Jeff Beach Bum Berry is sort of like this this epic figure in the tiki scene that I've discovered, and I only knew about him because my dear friend Randall Johnson, who's also a screenwriter from Hollywood, who wrote The Doors and Mask of Zorro, and I did some of my very first episodes for Around the Neighborhood with Randall, and I'll leave a link to that episode in this video as well. But anyhow, he gave me some books from his buddy, Jeff Beach Bum Berry, and I started reading through them, and then now he has this great app that you can easily browse through some of the amazing drinks. But really what he did was fantastic in terms of the history of the tiki movement and the tiki drinks, and preserving the amazing concoctions and the cocktails between Don the Beachcomber and Trader Vic's, and the Chinese and the Filipino bartenders that help contribute to the Polynesian drinks that we've come to love. But everything at this particular point in tiki is all culturally appropriated in all different cultures. So Blue Hawaii is one of my dad's favorite Elvis films back in 1961. And so that's why I got the poster back here. And we're gonna make the drink just because I think it's a great way to kick off 2021. And it really calls for like pineapple juice, some lemon, and a mixture of rum and vodka. So with that said, just so you know, if you're looking at this, this is my version of stealing from Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. And Spike has this amazing tiki bar that he built in his breezeway down in Orange County. So this is just a rip-off of that. So with that said, let's get started. Now the Blue Hawaii involves 3 ounces of pineapple juice. Normally you're supposed to use the canned Dole pineapple juice. I'm a newbie at this, so I kind of screwed that up. And I'm gonna have to use this pineapple juice from Langer's. I know it might be faux pas, but you know, I gotta work with what I got. We got our jigger. What is it? 3 ounces. The next ingredient is 1 ounce of sweet and sour. I don't have sweet and sour. It's like a sweet and sour syrup. So I understand that you can make sweet and sour by mixing half lemon juice and half simple syrup. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut up this lemon. Add another ½ ounce of simple syrup. And that's my sweet and sour syrup. Then it asks for ½ ounce of blue curacao, which I think is just simple syrup with blue dye. That should make it blue, but under these lights, sometimes, I don't know, it looks kind of green or yellowish, maybe mixed up with the yellow pineapple juice. Then it asks for 3/4 ounce light rum and 3/4 ounce of vodka. So we're gonna be using Cruzon's aged light rum for the light rum. It smells good. It's about 3/4 ounce. You're supposed to be very precise with tiki drinks. and I'm not wearing my glasses, so I guarantee you I'm missing something. Now the vodka we're going to be using is from Gompers Distillery down here in Redmond, Oregon. And Gompers is named after this Holocaust survivor from Holland, and who built this amazing business in Los Angeles and Hollywood. And his family, his son actually lives here in West Linn. And that's how I met them, Gompers, because they were selling their wares at the Willamette Summer Market. And so they're mostly known for their gin, but they make an amazing vodka. So some local vodka from Gompers Distillery. We'll do 3/4 ounce of that. Then we add plenty of ice to it. And you shake well, and I heard, or at least I've discovered, that bartenders tend to shake horizontally, get it going, and then really start shaking like crazy for like 10 to 20 seconds. The bartenders at the Trader Sam's over in Disneyland, the Tiki Bar, do it this way. Then I got just like a generic tiki glass that was given to me by some friends over the holiday. So the cool thing about the Blue Hawaii is the idea is that you get to see the blue coloring. Add some more ice. Now since it's a pineapple-based drink, I've seen like pineapple garnishes. I've got this, I guess I use this pineapple and use some of the garnishes on this one. They call it the frongs, pineapple frongs. Got the paper bamboo straw. And there you are. This is the Blue Hawaii. It's refreshing. So on a January, when it rains a lot and it's cold, you come to this little oasis and start off the new year well with a Blue Hawaii. And thanks for checking out this episode, this video, and all the other videos I have. But until then, mahalo and awiho.